Yes, here we are. Yes, mic check, testing, testing. As we go live here tonight, I just wanted to challenge you to get ready to have your best week ever. Don't know how that weekend was, but hopefully it was good, and this week will be even better and gooder, as we like to say. Hey, so welcome, welcome, welcome to have your best week ever. Let me just check and make sure we got everything going good here. Yes, we do. So hey, let's see, mic check. See who we got joining in with us tonight as we get ready to just talk a little bit about focusing, 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 focusing. I think that's the key thing is if you think about it, the difference it makes when you focus on something and really go after it and drive through it, it makes a big difference. And so I want to challenge you to think about that as you move forward this evening and begin to determine what it is that you're going to focus on and drive forward. Hey, Lane, yeah, we can talk tomorrow. Just give me a call whenever you are available. Hey, that's fine as far as tomorrow. Hey, Terrell Hodge, good to see you. Hey, Tyrone Dunn, good to see you this evening. Hey, one of the things we want to talk about, with tonight as we move forward, I want to talk about focus, as I said earlier, and just wanted to get the recording going because, we like to record the call for a couple reasons. Simply because we want to share it. And if you're in this space and you're doing some things with in coaching, training, or no matter what business you're in, also look at how do you repurpose that content? How do you use what you do once? How do you use it over and over again? How do you do it more than once? And I'm sorry, how do you do it once and use it more than once? So that's something that's key. So there we are. Hey, Patrick Turner, good to see you this evening. Cal Rockamore, hey man, how things going over in H Town? Larry Riggs, good to see you this evening as you jump on. The power of focus is something we're going to do this whole month. We're going to spend some time on focus and just share. Really, I guess you can say February is strictly about focus and some things that will help you do that. Focus more, be more, and be in a better place as you move forward. So, one of the things that as I talk about focus, one is understanding what focus is. Oftentimes we don't truly understand what focus is, and focus is really taking that, being able to zero in on one thing, zero in on one thing, and take it to completion. And in today's environment, it's one of the hardest things to do because oftentimes we find ourselves multitasking, meaning doing several things. Half you fill in the blank, half good, half okay. So focus really becomes a skill. So it's something that you want to begin to develop and ask yourself, how do I focus more? How do I focus better, if you would? And what I simply mean by that is, how do you take your task to completions? So that's the key thing is taking those small things to completions. And that's something you want to make sure you do. Hey, Larry Riggs, good to see you. Sharon Banks, hey, glad you're able to jump on. Michael Williams, how are things going, man, over in H Town? And so, that's what focus is about. And it's really about engaging one thing to finish. It's doing what you know and not what you feel. And trust me, it's not hard. It's harder to do that um, than we think. I know it is for me. I know I struggle with it oftentimes, and I'm okay with it. And and drawing attention to it for myself has helped me to move forward. Also, has helped me to help my clients, and as I move forward, it's going to help you hopefully tonight as we share a few things tonight, and then we'll. Not going to spend a lot of time tonight, but just a little bit of time. And so, why do people suffer from lack of focus? Well, a couple things I think that are the real reasons is that there are so many things coming at us today. If I'm sitting here, I got the phone, I might have an instant message going. And so it becomes harder and harder to focus on those one or two things that you need to get done in this hour. So literally in that hour. And so that is it leads to what we talk about procrastination. And what happens is our focus is about trading off what we're doing now for something we think that's better, something that we think is gooder. for the day. Hey, Taria Hodge said, "Hey, I'm learning how to break things down into three goals." And what she's simply saying is that today these are my must dos. So the day will not finish until I do those. And then the other side of it is taking those goals and actually putting them into a time slot throughout the day. So what time are you going to do those goals? What time are you going to make things happen throughout the day? So that's something that I want to challenge you to begin to think about and ask yourself, what are those priorities? And so you can focus on the things that are important first and drive them to completion. As I look here, I got kind of sidetracked. Here's a tool that will help you. And this is a simple timer. So if you're working on a project or uh, a specific task, and just say, hey, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever that number is that you want to spend. And so until that time, you won't look at a phone, you won't look at another message. You're just going to stay in the moment on that task. So that's something I want to challenge you to do. Some other things you can do to counter the lack of focus. Number one is address what needs to be done. And Taria mentioned that as a goal. So when you look at your daily goals, your daily objectives, those top five, those top three, how many ever it is that you must do. In the growth planner, we put five down. And so, what are those five things? And so now you're clear on what needs to be done. And then, why do they need to be done? So, how are they going to help you move forward? So, as you're planning your week and planning your day, you're saying, why is it important that I have these things to do? Why am I going to do them? And then, as we said, when are you going to do them? Driving them really into a time frame. So from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock tomorrow, what are you going to do? What are you going to work on? Inking that in helps you drive through these goals. Inking that in helps you do more within the time you have. It helps you to stay focused. And that's what focus does, is help you to do more. So I want you to begin to think about that as you plan tonight. Hopefully you're planning your week to have your best week ever. If not, just simply go over to thegrowthplanner.com. That's right, thegrowthplanner.com, and you get some of the tools that we use to help you have your best week ever. So now let's talk about focus. There's three types of focus. Number one is inner focus. Number two is focusing on others, and then outer focus. And so just begin to think about those three types of focus and ask yourself, um, you know, and I don't want to get too far in that, but I just want you to become cognizant, aware of it. And see, when you're consciously aware of something, you begin to change it. When you're consciously aware of something, it goes to driving forward. And so the inner focus is about yourself, understanding and beginning to focus on the little things that are happening internally with you. Focusing on others or those outside distractions of individuals that are coming at you. And then, the other focus, the outer focus is really about things outside the individual. It's the whole overall environment and asking yourself, hey, what must I do? What changes must I make to make a difference in my life? What changes must I make to not, you know, lose focus so much. So hey, I just want to challenge you to think about that a little bit on those three types. Now, the next thing I want to share with you tonight is what we call the busy trap. See, we look back at our schedule, and someone on the call earlier mentioned about setting those goals, and sometimes we have that long to-do list, and it's just a busy. Um, Gosh, that's the best way to say it, a busy trap, because we wind up having so much on that list that it looks like we're doing a lot, but guess what? We're not. We're not. So when you begin to think about, hey, what am I going to do? Why am I going to do? And when I'm going to do, you know, the what needs to have a strong why, and then every what and why needs to have a definite place of action. So asking yourself, hey, what is that is? So number one is, if we get too busy, you hear people talk about this phrase burnout. When you're racing cars, it's just burning rubber. But that's a lot of what's happening. We're just busy, 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 going in circles, and and really begin to get tired without getting results. So you want to avoid that busy trap. You want to avoid burnout. So you want to focus on the effects of burnout. So first of all, you want to cut off what's causing all of this activity. Sometimes you got to have that instead of to-do list, have that not to-do list. What are some of the things that you're going to stop doing in your life? What are some of the things that you're going to stop doing in your business? What are some of the things you're going to stop doing? Okay. What are some of the things that you're going to stop doing? The other thing that helps is, getting more rest. I'm finding myself, I have to do that now. Used to, I would literally thrive on just getting that 4 hours of sleep but now, hey, I have to get that rest. And so that's important. And so I challenge you to think about the same thing too, is asking yourself, eating better, getting more rest, sleeping better is going to help you focus on those things and creating that not to do list, that not to do list. That's right, not to do. Keep that in mind. Things that you're going to stop doing. Okay, you got that? Clearly stop doing. Next thing, I want to ask you is, you know, do you feel overwhelmed? Sometimes when we look at that list of things we got to get done, gosh, it's goes on for days and days. You can flip the pages, boom, boom. Oh man, I got all this to do. But does that cause overwhelm? Well, here's some things that's going to help with that. Is one is taking the top three, taking the top five, and then putting a plan in place. Okay, put a plan in place. Keep track of time. So hey, whatever it is that you have to do, put a time on it. Set timers. Hey, when you walk into a meeting with someone and there's a lot of talk, hey, set your alarm to go off. That's something I've just started doing because I find myself getting engaged and I have to remind myself, hey, Howard, time for the next appointment. What can you do to stay attracted to what you're doing? We say we get distracted, but what can I do to stay attracted? What can I do to stay attracted? And what can I do to become more organized? So one of the things that I'm working on now is decluttering my space. And so every day I spend 15 to 20 minutes decluttering my space. A lot of it's throwing stuff away. And my wife is a lot more organized than me. So, hey, we make a decent team from that standpoint. I guess I drag her down the way I do in a lot of different ways. But, all right, a sidebar. So, you know, um, but once again, declutter your space. And so as you think about that, think about that for yourself, asking yourself, hey, do I have a plan? Have I put a time into it? Have I gone in and set a definite timer on how long things are going to happen? Set an agenda for meetings. And one of the things that I'm starting to do and do more of because, hey, I got to grab that time. I got to grab that time back and set those things is what to do. I love what Shana said. Hey, things not to do. Hey, that's great. No, it actually is, and get clear on it. And let me touch on that a little bit because this is going to help you get out of that busy trap. Is that some of those things that you are doing now in your business in your life, you can't just go from doing them full speed to zero. And what I mean by that is that you may have to work up to it. You may have to put the procedures in place. You may have to uh, hire that executive assistant or that outsource that person to help you with that. But it doesn't happen overnight. And so become comfortable with, hey, there may be some things that I have to really focus on and some changes I have to make, but put a plan and a time frame in place to go through that and make that happen. So, as you begin to look at this whole focus piece, it's going to help you drive to finish. It's going to help you drive to completion. Whether it's using the timers, whether it's creating a not to do list, but the first step is developing the plan and then determining which one of those things are, is it distractions, too many things coming at me? Is it I have too many things on my list and I'm in that busy, overwhelmed trap? And so you have to ask yourself, what is it? So you got to do some self-evaluation, a self-assessment. And see, assessments are not meant to define you; they're meant to refine you. Okay, so I want you to write that down if you're taking notes. Assessments are meant to refine me and not define me. And see, everything that goes through the refining process typically improves in value. Typically improves in value. So I want to challenge you to think about that for yourself. How can you improve in value? Well, if I'm more focused, if I'm getting more things done in the 168 hours I have in a week, then I am increasing my value. I am increasing my value. And so that assessment of saying, hey, where am I losing time at? Where am I missing things at? And so that's something I want to challenge you to do today. That's something I want to challenge you to do this evening. You may be watching a replay, and if you need some help with that, hey, just reach out to me. You can do one or two ways. You can inbox me at here on Facebook because you're watching here on Facebook, and then the second way is just simply go and schedule a meeting with us at 15kmeeting.com. That's 15kmeeting.com, and then we can set a time to help you assess where you are, put a game plan in place, and then walk through and execute that game plan. So that's something I want to challenge you to do as we move forward here, and drive forward in focusing better. So this is the month of February. So I challenge you to find those 3 to 5 things that you're going to focus to completion tomorrow. Okay, focus to completion. Write them down. They should be at the top. The top. That's right. That top five. Hey, here are the top 5 things that are happening today in my life, and let's do it. And then let's just do it. Okay. That's what I want to challenge you to do. That's where I want to hear you come back to this feed and post it or inbox me and say, hey, Howard, here are my top fives. Go over to Have Your Best Week Ever and put that in there and say, hey, I need some help with these top 5. But here are my top 5. Here are the things that I'm going to get done today. 5 things. 5 things. Boom. Just imagine if you got 5 good things, the right 5 things, you know, what, why, and when. But that why has to be strong. See, why stands for what helps you. That's right. Why stands for what helps you. And then, when I hadn't developed an acronym for when yet. I got to write that down and put an acronym in place. But what stands for we have action to take. And so, when, mm, got it. Let's see. What's have see what's happening executing now. Okay, hey, we're going to have something for when, hey, but we'll have that developed the next time we talk to you around this focusing. But I challenge you to once again make sure you get up and plan your week, because if not, someone else is going to give you a week plan. And that's what focusing is about, is having that strong plan for the week and executing on it. Put the times and the days in there when you're going to execute and drive with that strong plan. Hey, so with that said, hey, I want to thank you for joining in with us this afternoon as we, just focus on focus. Focus on focus. Like I said, the rest of this month, that's what we're going to do, is focus on focus. And I challenge you to use this, the shortest month of the year, to be the most focused and get the most done. Make this your most impactful February ever, ever. And the best way to start is by having your best week ever. So you make this a good week, and next week gooder, and the next week even better. And guess what? Booyah! Next thing you know, you'll be like, hey, February is awesome. Then we're going to focus on March, and then we're going to get our mindset and march forward. Then April, and hey, that's going to take care of it itself. But the main thing is that I want you to do is to focus. It's all about focus this week, okay? Each day, 3 to 5 things. That's all. 3 to 5 things that you're going to get done. If you're in sales and you need to drive revenues, who are those 3 to 5 conversations I got to have? What are the 3 to 5 conversations I have to have? You know, if it's a project, What am I going to do with that project? Schedule it out. We have a big project we're working on called Next Level, and more to come with that. So, hey, I know I got to focus on that. Hey, George Bell, good to see you. Great talking to you last night, and look forward to connecting as we talked about. And you know, that's a person that's focusing. We had a conversation around focus and doing hard work, as we called it. George is here in Baton Rouge, and he does some great things with the United Way as the director, has a great team, but a very focused individual. And so there's something to be said about that, having a definite schedule, that regiment, those routines. And we're going to dive more into that next week because, like I said, hey, here, we only want to spend about 15, 20, 30 minutes max on Sunday nights. So you can go out and plan your week. So, hey, uh, pull your planners out, whatever system you're using. I have the growth planner. I got to go in and fill it out and doing our time. Um, we have a new system we've implemented. It's just give us a great overview of the week, and I'm glad to share that with you. But as I said, focus, focus, focus. Get on target. Be the best you possible, because that's what's going to happen. Is if you focus, it's going to help you be the best you possible, and that's it. That's all you can do is be the best you possible. And with that said, as always in closing, I challenge you to go out and be the best you possible, because guess what? Everybody else is taken. If you try to be anybody else, you can only be second best, and that's not the place you were designed to be. Hey, take care. God bless, and I shall see you later this week. Bye bye. Don't forget to focus. Focus right here. Focus. Focus.